Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about racism, specifically about racism against Asians, and specifically more about racism against Northeast Asians. So we're talking, what everyone thinks about when we talk about Asia, China, Mongolia, some parts of Russia, Japan, South Korea, North Korea, probably. Vietnam, I don't know if it counts. Thailand, I don't know if it counts. Seems like Southeast Asia. But yeah, also Southeast Asia. Just East Asia. Maybe parts of Central Asia. And why I wanted to talk about this is, I'm Asian, and because I got a lot of story times. Uh, for example, a lot of my stories about me being in fights and conflicts often arise from my race. And this is not to promote racism, but one thing I'm very used to, which might shock a lot of you, is that I usually, for the most part, haven't faced racism from white people. It's mostly from immigrants, and mainly from black or Arabic immigrants. And by that I mean like every single one I've ever met that is in of my age, the girls and the boys. Except if the girls don't speak, because like some hijab girls aren't even allowed to speak. So you get what I mean. And let me tell you about some examples of the stories. For example, I got into a fight with one blackie because I believe I walked past him and he did the ching chong thing, and I said shut the fuck up, the N word, and then he became super mad. Holy shit, bro! He was like, hey, what up, bro? Why did you say that? And I was like, don't call me ching chong. Why you racist? And he said, it's not the same. Like, you can't say that. And I was like, do not call me a ching chong then. And he's like, fuck you. And I was like, fuck you too. Get the fuck out of here. And he fucking fucked off like a little cunt he is. And also, same thing with Arabic people. When I was younger, there were a lot of racism against me from Arabic people at my old school. And now, not as much, but it has happened that someone just screamed from like the top of, like, there are 3 floors in my school, and I was on the second floor in the staircase walking up, and then I just heard some fucking Arabic man screaming, I hate you Chinese people. And I was like, okay, yeah. And I screamed back, I hate you fucking Arabic people. Like, what do you want me to say? Fucking retard. But again, back to my old school. And in this school, there were also a lot of Arabic people. Or actually not, there were quite few. There were like 1 per 10 people or something like that. And still they were very racist, a lot of them. Called me ching chong, blah blah blah. Called me dog eater and all that. And I called them like fucking... I don't believe I called them, child hackers. I called them... I read somewhere they ate testicles, like sheep testicles. So I said, you eat sheep testicles, and you, goats, because that's also something I've heard. And yeah, we responded with racism because, that's what a child usually does. But now I've learned, for the most part, that is not how you should respond. You should just respond with a firm, like, you stop that. Do not behave like this. Oh my god, it's the communist. They infected me with some fucking virus, bro. And that reminded me, the coronavirus. Holy shit, under that period, Asians got hated on like a motherfucker. Every time, like every motherfucking time. This was also a period where white people hated me. Or white people in my age, they just every motherfucking time I walked past some motherfucker, they stared at me, like laughed a little or said corona. Some literally just pointed at me and said coronavirus. But it quickly stopped because the teachers became aware of it, and because I had a famous or infamous reputation in the school for being quite bad-tempered and violent. So there was one time, Well, another funny thing about me is, even though I'm quite a short-tempered person, or actually not anymore, I hope, like to believe, I haven't been in a fight for about 6 or 7 or 8 years. I in a long time. Like the last time was in 7th grade or 6th grade. 7th grade, I believe. So that's 2 years, 5. Okay, 5 years. Uh, and that was against someone a year younger than me, but like a head taller than me and probably 30 kilograms heavier than me, because that was a big old fat guy. And it started by, I don't know, some snowball war. Like someone, I'm getting off track. I'll tell you that story another time. But anyway, I haven't been in a fight a lot, but why that is because I'm quite strong and I just end up beating up the people. So it ended up with me beating up a lot of white kids. Because I remember every time some little bitch ass white kid just said it, it always like that fucking small little young ass white boys saying coronavirus and then fucking running away. And one time I became really mad and I grabbed one of them and I screamed at him, you don't say that. Say it to my face now. And he became really fucking scared. So I let him go. And one time when it was someone similar to my age, I grabbed him, I bitch slapped him in front of his friends, and I told him, say that again. And when he was about to speak, like say sorry, I slapped him again. And then the teachers came and I fucking pushed him away. And another time, fucking dozens of time. Like one time I punched someone in the stomach. Another time I usually don't. I refrain from hitting because that's very obvious. Like you're being violent then. So I'm a wrestler. I usually just like hug them very hard or lift them up and make them so they trip over themselves and stuff. Because, like, what can you do? Like, you have to show people to not fucking disrespect you, to not shit on you. And that's what I did. And that's why they stopped for the most part. And, like, that was only the worst time. Because afterwards, after the coronavirus, and even before, there were just people yapping about the ching chong, always that one, always fucking that one. I hated it. And the ching chong, come on, like they think they're funny. It's like, okay, it's like the 100th time I've heard it. Shut the fuck up, you're not funny at all. It's like it's like this 6-7 joke but 10 times worse. Oh my gosh, shut the fuck up. I'ma slap the shit out of you. I'm not even joking. Like one of my best friends said it to me and I slapped him because I told him, do not joke about that around me, because it's not a sensitive topic, but it's such a rage-based shit, because it's like, come on, bro. He said it like 50 times already that day. And I told him, you shut the fuck up. I've heard you spamming that word. And he was like, why are you overreacting? Oh my goodness gracious, brother. And of course it was white. Because a lot of white people, you know, it's true that a lot of white people are getting oppressed in their own countries. But that does not mean that white people, at least in Sweden here, understand even 1/10 of the racism I face. Like, bro, there was this one guy who kept being racist towards me, and I told him, you don't know what it's like being because he's the same guy who said like, it's actually good to be bullied. Oh my goodness. And I mean, he's kind of right, because in the right way, everyone needs a small dose of bullying to toughen them up. But like, oh my goodness, you have to say a very small, very, very, very small. Because same with the racism. He said, I have also faced racism. I went to an immigrant school and they hated white people. Oh my god, what did they do? Call you snowman or something? And even if they did, then you better understand me. Then you better understand, it's not funny at all. Like, come on. Yeah, maybe Ching Chong was funny the first dozens of time, but it's thousands of times now. Like, shut the hell up. I am so tired of it. The racism I faced was everywhere, like I said. Everywhere. On the street, in the school, at home, from my own brother. And, like, everywhere I went, there was some kind of fucking racism. And then we also have different kinds of racism, because mostly the racism I faced was racism that demasculated me. A lot of Asian racism is about demasculating Asians. It's about making Asian men look weak, look wimpy, maybe not stupid, but cowardly. It's like this. If you ask yourself, what is the stereotypical Asian man look like in media? Oh, he's short, he's skinny as shit, and he's a coward. And that is not at all how most Asians are. Most Asians, at least in China and in Japan, are under the average height, but they're not short. Or maybe by European standards, because here in Europe it's like 6 foot tall, and over there the average height is 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", somewhere along that line. And skinny they are, but not as skinny as like you would believe. And they are certainly not cowardly or like it's probably comes from being reserved. Asian people are we respectable, I think it's called. We value peace and quiet. We don't say a lot, and people take that as us being cowardly. We can't stand up for ourselves, and that is not very true. And that's why I think we are portrayed such badly in media. And another thing, the self-hatred that a lot of Asians have is so disgusting, man. And the fetishization, I think it's called, I can't pronounce it, in media on our women is, it is fucked. Like all the fucking movies of the white man coming to save the Asian girl, all the fetishization of, corn and all that. Holy. And I mean, it's Japan themselves making fetishization about their own fucking women in anime and all that. And like the self-hatred, like fuck all, especially Asian girls have a very big complex about hating themselves. They hate their Asian side because it doesn't make them fit into the white people, the white agenda, or what the fuck. So they betray their race, they get whitewashed, and they start thinking they're white, and they go for white men, and they start disliking Asian men because they think they're wimpy or something like that. Oh my god, it's such a complex topic. I can't put it into words right now. But my main point is that a lot of Asians who betray their race, or if you could say it like that, are often majority. I'm not saying all because it's never all. Even if I say all, majority of the time don't mean all, because it's a figure of speech. When you say, oh, I hate all football fans from this one club, you don't. Your fucking grandma could have been a lover or supporter of that group. Or if you say, I hate this country and its people, no, you don't fucking hate every single fucking person. It's a figure of speech. Get the fuck out of here. So, as I was saying, almost all of these fucking whitewashed Asian people hate themselves, and that's why they're so insecure about their race, and that's why they want to get with a white person, and it's a majority of time it's Asian women. And I'm gonna get to the Asian men later, but first let's talk about the Asian women. The hate Asian women have for themselves and their race is incredible. They make fun of Asian men. They look down on Asian men. They think our culture. They use our culture to attract white men who like our culture, or like thinks it's a fetish or something. And they use their culture to their advantage, but they don't embrace their culture. They do not like love it like a patriot. They just use it as a tool. And they most of the goddamn fucking time always, as I said before, look for a white man because they want. How do you get even more white than behaving like a white person? Talking white. Yes, you can fucking talk white, and like wearing clothes that a lot of white people wear, being with only white people. You get the gist of getting whitewashed. It's like, oh god, this is gonna sound racist, but it's like being not blackwashed but hoodwashed. You adapt to the middle class white person's way of life, and I can't really put it into words right now, but let's move on to the Asian men. The Asian men who get whitewashed, they are utterly pathetic. Oh my fucking god, bro. I usually say I've never been whitewashed. or at least like these guys. But a couple times I've been in on the line, but then as soon as I see the results of what I'm doing, I just fucking leave it. And what I'm talking about, whitewashed Asian men, they have make it a point of using their race as a joke. They have to put themselves down. They have to make themselves a jester to please the white man, to make the white man laugh, or the white girls. I don't know. Fuck. They have to put other Asian men, like they say, oh look over there, that's my cousin, and it's a random Asian guy. They love to make fun of themselves. They make themselves a joke. Then there's a fucking big difference of making fun of yourself and making yourself into a joke. If you're making fun of yourself, you're making fun of yourself. Everybody laughs. Making a joke out of yourself, then you're a joke. You're not to be ever taken seriously. And that's what I fucking hate about all these whitewashed Asian men. They always hang out in fucking white people group, and when another Asian comes up to them and tries to be nice and talk to them, they be like, they look down at you. They look at you with the disgust. They're like, what is this Asian doing to me? Like, I'm white. Why are you talking to me? Oh my fucking goodness. They're such traitors, and I fucking hate them. And like, I remember when I was younger, I usually try to stick with my own race, but it rarely happened because there were no Asians in my school, but were those who existed. There, some of them was whitewashed, so I tried to interact with some of them, be like their friends because they're Asian. But they always looked down on me. They was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because I wasn't dressed like the stereotypical Swedish middle class boy, and they were like, "Nah." And they always had to use the fucking Asian shit, like, okay, Asian boy, get like in front of the white guys. They had to impress the white guys. I don't know, man. It's so fucking weird. And now let me talk about the racism I face from my formerly best friend. I made a video about him and how he betrayed me. And let me talk more shit about him because I don't like it. And don't if you know me in real life, you probably can figure out who I'm talking about. But I've been straightforward with this guy. I've told him why I don't respect you for not listening to me, and I don't like you being racist towards me. And he's like, okay, I don't know how he is, because he just shrugs. He doesn't care. And let me tell you, he's like not a hard racist. He's just like a fucking casual racist, or how the hell you say it. But that's also a very weird way of saying it, because he doesn't hate Asian people, because the word racist means you hate someone based on their skin color or race. But like almost none of the people I've talked about are truly racist. They're just fucking mean and stupid. But this guy, let's just say he's not a big racist like the others. But come on, man. He always tries to make fun of me for being short. And this guy, he's like 6'2" something. He's been quite big. He was almost over 200 pounds before. Now he's gone down to 180 pounds. And let me tell you the full story. So this guy, I befriended him after the 9th grade. In the middle school, he was a weirdo. I hung out with him a couple times because I was nice. I wanted him to be nice. And he was a social recluse. He was an introvert. He was very feminine. And everyone thought he was gay. And later on in the 9th grade, when I became friends with him, or after the 9th grade, I told him, don't act, like, even in the middle school, I told him, like, he got used in the 7th grade, because he thought he was part of the popular kids, because they, like, accepted him into their gang, just to use him as a joke. And I know, because I've also been used like this, several times. I'm too trusting. So I told him, hey, be careful, brother. They don't like you. They just want to use you, you know? And he said, it's fine, I understand. And then they used him, and he started crying a couple weeks later. And I said, I told you so, like, just let it go, bro. And he said, yeah, thank you. Like, that's when we became, kind of friends. We talked. He was very nice. Like, I loved him in the beginning, because he was such an interesting person. Now he's just ignorant. He's like nonchalant, if you can say that. And he wasn't like never racist before, but he has become racist, or more racist. How do you say it? More stupid, in my opinion, because he was really smart before. He always thought things through. Now he's just too lazy. He says, I haven't thought about it. I don't want to think about it. You get what I mean. And when we became friends, I taught him how to be more masculine. I taught him you have to have presence. You don't need to take shit, and you have to be physically strong. And that physically strong he hasn't catched on to. He didn't want to be physically strong or imposing until recently. And I've fucking noticed it. He always tries to like be the dominant one physically. He always tries to make himself look extra big and look down on me, like he's trying to intimidate me. Like, what the fuck are you doing? We're friends, like, come on. It's like, and he's not, sometimes he does it in a jokingly manner, but at some other times, especially when we're with others, he tries to make it like he's the better man or something. He tries to make me look bad or something. I don't like it. And I don't know if he thinks I notice, but I fucking notice. Also when, oh my god, bro. And this is more when we we just hang out, me and him. That he tells me sometimes Chinese or little Chinese boy, or he has some hate towards the country China, and he has a lot of stereotypes about China. Like he says something about I don't know fucking, what's one thing he said about China? He says that our people are brainwashed or something, and he said also something about Chinese people being, I don't know. He's just said some really stupid stuff. Like, one time he also said that Chinese people do eat dogs. And I was like, yeah, fucking some Chinese people eat dog. And if you've done your fucking research, it's only a small part of the Chinese population. It's in the South China. And it's like maybe 10 million people, 20 million people. And percentage-wise, I hope this doesn't fuck up the audio because I pulled out my cable here. Percentage-wise, there are more homosexuals in Sweden than there are dog eaters in China. And I told him that. And he said, okay. Like, he became so fucking offended. Like, come on now, brother. And he always makes a point of trying to demasculate Chinese people. But, I mean, what can you expect from the guy? Even though he's highly intelligent, he is a Jew lover. So, you know. My chocolate milk. I can't remember what he said more about Asians, but it's always negative shit. Like I said, he is such a brainwashed person. He was like, oh my god. Oh, I remembered what he said. He told me. But I was ranting about how I hated, what I talked about before. The self-hating Asian women going for white men. And he said, oh, well, that's no shit. Why would they not? And I was like, because their Asian men are good, they're being brainwashed, and like by Western standards, they're being brainwashed by Western standards that make women into whores, and all this feminist ideology about you or hypergamy and all that, they've forgotten about true love and things like that. And he's like, well, we white men, why wouldn't they want the white man? We're taller than you. We are, I don't think he said better looking, but he said taller. We are richer on you on average. And we live in a white country. And what the fuck did he say? He said something about, about behavior. And why would they want the Chinese man? Chinese people are wimps. Oh my goodness gracious. They're not fucking wimps. They're like Swedish people. They are reserved. But when it comes to it, they are not fucking wimps. But I can see his point. Because a lot of Gen Z fucking Chinese people have become wimps. Because all they do is on their fucking phones all the time. But another thing about that thing. He's so, like I said before, stereotypes. He doesn't do his own research about Chinese people. He just says shit. And he believes in stereotypes about Chinese people. It's like, stupid motherfucker. And I think that's all I have to say about him for now. Like, I got more shit to say about him. That goddamn bastard. And what more can I speak about racism? Against Asians. Yeah, like, it's a topic not a lot of people talk about. And like, for example, but shit, like I said, sorry, like I said, it's not a topic a lot of people talk about. It might seem that way to some, because when you start researching Asian or hate against Asians, it seems like, oh, it's a widely known topic. because oh look, they talked on it on the news in 2020. Oh look, there's a whole fan page about it. Compare it to black racism, or Hispanic, or Arabic, or like any. We don't talk about it enough because, in some ways, hate against Asians ain't as violent as hate against blacks, Hispanics, and all those others are, and that's probably because of the stereotype people see Asian see Asians as wimps, and they don't see us as a threat, and thus don't attack us. But it's still a problem because it's like quantity over quality. That's a crazy thing to say, but you get what I mean. A lot of Asians face racism and stereotypes and all these unnecessary fucking jokes and shit, and like it's like I said. Let me summarize. Asian racism is demasculating the men, fetishizing the women, and making us look like wimps, making us look weak and pathetic. It is about those three main points. God damn it, who the hell is really calling me? Excuse me for that. A friend called. And those main 3 points, as we're saying, they are the 3 main points of racism against Asians. And God damn it, I lost my goddamn tempo. I lost the whole shit. What the fuck was I talking about? And no, now I remember. And like, as an Asian, if you're an Asian watching this, you can probably relate to a lot of things I say. And what I think we should do is we should stand up. Like, don't fucking just ignore the racism. Tell them, like, can you stop? Like, you're not being funny. And a lot of people, all these motherfuckers, every time I try to be, nice by just telling them to stop, they always try to talk about, oh, come on, it's a joke, don't be... Like, you have to be firm with it. You'd be like, oh, if they say, oh, come on, it's just a joke, and I say, yeah, but I don't like it, and I always hear it. Can you stop? Or do you have to be like this? We have to put our foot down and stop taking shit, One last thing before the video ends. I want to talk about racism in, like, attraction, kinda. In the fetishization of Asian women, it's that they have a lot of the time round face, I believe it was, or a feminine face, very soft features, very feminine, childlike almost features, and they're often smaller on average, and like, I don't know, man, just seen as generally more feminine. And that is what has made a lot of white people, especially white men for the most part, even though a lot of other races also hop on that fetish train. That's why primarily white people fetishize Asian women. And Asian men are seen as short, like not masculine. And one more thing I forgot about, but a lot from what I tell, like for the most part, the Asian women who reject me are whitewashed, and I don't usually go for white girls, but when I just walk past a lot of white girls, they look down on me. Like, not because they're tall, just, I don't know, they just feel disgusted. And that's one thing my former best friend, told me. He said, of course white women react this way to you. Asian men are disgusting on average, or something like that. They're pathetic, and they're gonna think the same about you. And I don't know, man. He like I said in my video about him, he puts a lot of the blame on me. Or not blame, in his words, he feels like everything that happens to a human is almost always their own fault. They can always change that. And I've talked a lot about black pill and all that to him, and from what I get, I told him like this: you do not get to say this, because he's also a capitalist. He thinks capitalism works because it does work, but he thinks it's also equality or some fucking dumbass shit like that. He's like, he's right in capitalism works overall, but No, you are so wrong in the points that I point out. Like capitalism is not equality at all, because once the people get to a certain point, like they get monopoly. Like the rich that get rich, they gonna stay rich forever. Like they're gonna stop everyone else from getting rich, and the classes are gonna go up and down. The poor are gonna get poorer, the rich are gonna get richer. And let's forget about that. As I was saying, he, for the most part, said to me that it was my own fault that we as humans can change, like, we can change what happens to us. And I told him, no, we can fucking not. You were born almost a perfect being. Like, he's extremely smart, or academically smart. I don't know about socially. I don't think he's socially smart that much. He's extremely tall, 6'2", if not 6'3" now. He feels really tall. He has a average physique. He isn't ugly. He's like a LTN, MTN at most. He is blonde, blue-eyed. He's Aryan. He's in Sweden, born in Sweden. His family is not poor. He's middle class. Like, what more? Like, the only thing better than to be born what he was born is like no shit, being born richer, being born more handsome, being born taller, you get what I mean. But that part, already being born like he has been born, that is less of 0.0001% of the Earth's population that are that. 0.0001% of the Earth's population is Swedish, blonde, blue-eyed, 6'3", lives in a middle-class society, and has such a high IQ as he has. Like, he's born in the perfect, like, circumstances. Of course he can tell me that we can change whatever we blah blah blah, because he can, for the most part, because he has the ability. He is tall, he's not ugly, and he is smart. What can I do? I'm fucking... I'm almost born... Okay, I would not say that. I'm not gonna say I'm born like the worst thing you can be born in Sweden. But I am born less fortunate than the average Swede. I am 5'5" to 5'6". I am... got a decent physique. Decent frame, I think, but people don't see that because I'm short. I'm decently attractive. MTN to HTN. I am quite smart, above average, not super smart. I am born in a middle class family. As I said, I'm Asian, and being Asian is a disadvantage because, as I said, in Swedish society they look down on especially Asians because they see us as weaker. Or in some work that we can find, like in tech industry, because that then physical things don't matter at all. But like I said, I'm not born privileged at all. I'm not even born average. And I hate it. It's like one of these people who sits on top trying to tell the people at the bottom, you can't change. You just gotta be smart. No, you can't, like, cause they are nothing like you. Like, let's say maybe that guy was lost all his money. He could build it up again because he was born into it. He knows how to do it. For example, what I mean is, if we have the average guy and the average guy, one is born rich, one is born poor. The rich guy is gonna become rich, and he might be thinking, come on, it's not that hard to get a job, educate yourself, and come up to my level. And the poor guy, he's gonna be like, I don't know, he's gonna be like, oh, they're fucking rich. The rich people are up there because they were born in that way. And if they switch roles in life, I don't think the poor man will be able to maintain the rich position, and I might think the rich man might climb up, because only he has the life experience, he knows what to do. This poor man, that is the exact same copy of this person, the rich person, but without the experience, without being raised in that kind of field. Even if you have the same biology, like, let's say it like this, even if you are an exact copy of someone, the circumstances and environment form how you become. Because in a poorest part of society, I don't think the goal is to get super rich by doing it the right way. It's often being rich by doing it in a less good way, like being a criminal, or not getting rich at all. Because it's very, very few people that are poor that I know that want to become like a lawyer or something. And even then, a lawyer will never reach the same level as someone like born rich, or you get what I mean, born rich. There are different levels to it. Basically what I'm trying to say, we do not control always. Like we control a minority of the things, but I do agree with him. What we can control, a lot of people don't want to even try because they're so tired of not being able to control it. And in the last 4 minutes of this video or something, I want to speak about my friend again, because I feel like I've been talking too much shit about him. I need to bring him into better light, because back in the day, he helped me a lot when I was feeling down. He helped me with understanding the world, because back before the 9th grade, I was actually not stupid. I was gonna say I was stupid, but I was taught that I was stupid, because everyone told me I was stupid. Everyone said, "Oh, you're not smart. Everything you say is stupid." Because every time I made like a smart statement, everyone wanted to tell me I was stupid, I was wrong, because maybe I formulated myself wrong or something like that. But then after the 9th grade, or at the end of it, I learned to stop thinking about them. I just thought, like, fuck them. I think exactly how I want to think. And that's what I fucking did. And holy shit, I was enlightened. It was like I went from 80 IQ to 120. And I got 120 on an IQ test I took. It's Mensa. It's like a kind of a official site, but I only did the test IQ. But search up Mensa. It's a legit site. And it was he that recommended it. And after we became friends, he was the perfect person, because I could explore my new intellectuality with him. I brought every theory I had come up with before I discovered how smart I was, and the new theories I came up now that I figured out I was smart. And he was like an intellectual match, or he was still smarter than me, but it was like a challenge. He challenged me intellectually. He made me work. We had super much fun. We had super interesting discussions. And I think my honesty was very refreshing for him, because, and me as a friend even, he was quite alone, I believe, before we started hanging out. My friendship, my kindness, he had never felt that before. That was really fun, probably, for him. We were such a perfect duo. We were like best friends forever. We were perfect. We always listened to each other. We were so close to each other. We like shared everything. We taught each other things. We tipped each other things. Like, how do you say it in English? We tips. I don't know. But we supported each other, like brothers. And I taught him how to be a man, how to stop being a fucking feminine. I told him, because one thing I've always noticed, and everyone talked about, is about the way he walked. I told him, do not fucking walk like this. People will make fun of you. And he was like, what's wrong with that? And I'm like, walk like this. And he was like this, and I was like, perfect. Like, walk any way except that way. And the way you talk, you gotta change that. And afterwards, he's super thankful for me. I don't know now, probably still is, but before, he said to me, thank you, Isaac. Like, I was such a wimp back in the day, like, holy. But now our friendship is falling apart. And I think also I'm partially responsible for that, because I'm not good at reaching out to him and calling him, like, do you want to hang out? He's always the one doing it. But that's because, I don't know, I don't have the, I have the time, but I don't have the speed or the energy, like, I think I'm partially very big to blame for that, if it is that has affected him, that he feels like he always has to call me, because I try to call him when I can. And I'll probably call him sometime in the coming future, because I remember I had done it a lot of times when I was free. I tried to show him really, like, yeah, I want to hang out. But as I said in my past video, it's gotten to a point where I don't enjoy as much as our hangouts because he doesn't listen to me. It doesn't feel fun, you know. This video has been a blast making, but I have to go now because I'm gonna be late meeting my friend. Shit. Anyway, if you like this content, share, like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok. This is gonna be on TikTok and YouTube. And we're gonna get back to 1,000 followers because TikTok fucking banned me. Ah!